anything?
Just as you left it.
Come in, Willie.
I've got a query.
So have I. Hang on. Head of security. It's D-Ops. Mickey, Neil. Am I in a random surveillance check? Yes, we'll tell them they're not very good. Front-tail's old hat, couldn't miss it. Huh. Random check. We might as well wave a placard.
I just flushed mine as well.
What?
They're checking me as well.
No, they're not. They wouldn't dare break that rule.
Which?
Well, they can't put me under surveillance unless they tell the deputy chief, and they can't check a sandbagger unless they tell me.
Wonder if it's the KGB planning to put a woman alongside me.
More likely to be MI5 again, using us to train their recruits. Well, let's make sure. And then we'll teach them a lesson.
Shall I get Jake to backtrail me?
Yes, tell him to pick up your shadow, see where it belongs. The Norwegians?
Must be using us for training value.
Damn cheek. Diane?
Yes.
Get onto the Scandinavian desk, will you? Ask if the Norwegians have got a station chief in London.
I checked before I came up.
And?
It's better than that. They've got a new chief of service. He's here in London at the moment. A man called Torvik. Lars Torvik.
Well, that's what it's all about. He's testing his agents on a foreign station.
Mickey Mouse time.
Yes, well, somebody better point out this isn't Disneyland.
Please sit down, Mr. Burnside.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to meet you, but also a disappointment.
Oh?
Oh, yes, your officer spotted his followers.
Exactly.
I apologize.
That's not good enough, Herr Torvik. My officers have more to do than check out the antics of a NATO ally.
Oh, yes, I know. But you belong to the oldest and most respected Secret Service in the world. I have charge of a rather newer and less professional one. Well, there are only 4 million people in my country, Mr. Burnside, and very few of them want to be intelligence officers. Even fewer are capable of it.
I do have similar problems.
But in a much more efficient service.
These things are relative.
Oh, yes, but we have great need of practical training, and I thought that if my men could remain undetected by your Willie Kane.
Kane?
Kane, Landy, Denson, a 3-man special operations section.
For a fledgling service, you're quite well informed.
Oh, it's jealousy, Mr. Burnside. I would give my right arm for your 3 sandbaggers.
Yes, well, they spend most of their time shoveling paper from in-trade to out-trade.
But they are there, ready and capable, and I cannot even bring my station officers up to standard, let alone form a special section.
All these things take time. You've recognized the weaknesses. That's halfway to rectifying them. But not by playing games with SIS.
No. We have an operation in Norway today. A very big one. Maybe we could do a deal.
What sort of deal?
If I pass the results to your intelligence directorate, would you help me with operational training?
I can ask.
Who would approve it? Your chief of service? See?
The deputy chief. Matthew Peel.
The Norwegians?
Well, I'd rather they came to us than went to the CIA.
I thought you were very matey with the CIA.
Not to the extent of sharing mistresses.
But the Norwegians? What have they got? 2 men and a reindeer?
Something like that.
Could you spare anyone to play schoolmaster?
Assuming the intelligence boys think it's worth it.
A sandbagger?
Well, Sandbagger 3's in Hong Kong, but the other two are just pushing paper.
Did Torvik say what this wonderful operation entails?
Seemed impolite to ask.
Well, let's wait to see what he has to offer first. But I wouldn't get too excited about it.
No, sir.
And Mr. Lars Torvik is being escorted up from reception.
Torvik?
All right to get him up, wasn't it?
Yes, but don't offer him coffee. I've more to do than philosophize on the theory of intelligence.
Indeed. Mr. Torvik, sir.
Mr. Burnside, it is good of you to see me at such short notice. Something bad has happened. My operation in Norway, it has gone wrong.
Oh.
We had an aircraft full of classified monitoring equipment of scientists and engineers flying along the border with Russia.
I thought you kept clear of that border.
Normally, yes, of course, but we had special permission. Hard won, I may say.
What was the aircraft doing?
Radar fingerprinting. The pulse repetition rate, duration of pulse scanning rate.
Yes, I know what it is, but there?
There is the naval base at Murmansk, the missile submarine base at Severomorsk.
Exactly. An area sensitive enough for the Russians to shoot up a Korean airliner that overflew it.
Mr. Burnside, the Russians did not shoot down our plane. It crashed.
Where?
Somewhere inside the Russian border.
So the Russians have got it?
We do not think so. The aircraft suffered a heavy bird strike and lost lateral control. The pilot radioed in code that he was headed southeast but could not turn. So he dived the plane to treetop level to escape the Russian radar. And then he would have flown on over Russian territory till he could find a place to make a forced landing.
Or not?
No. We know that someone survived it. We had one short burst screech signal from the aircraft.
Then you got a fix.
Unfortunately not. We were monitoring on one station only. But we do have a line of bearing.
Putting the aircraft where?
In very wild country. There's a good chance that the Russians do not know it is there.
Well, it won't remain undetected for long. There are too many Russian planes in the area.
Yes, I know. And Mr. Burnside, we must get those scientists out and blow up the plane and all its equipment.
Meaning that without proof, the Russians won't make too much of a fuss.
That is what my government hopes.
Yeah, then forgive me, but instead of relating all this to me, shouldn't you be mounting a rescue operation?
I want you to mount it.
I beg your pardon.
Well, you know the standards in my service. I have no one capable of it.
Well, what are you suggesting?
That you send in an aircraft. Low and fast in, low and fast out, losing speed only to parachute an agent.
Well, what's the agent supposed to do?
Well, he must assess the situation as he finds it and make his decisions then. And if all goes well, he can mine the plane with delayed charges, then lead out the scientists overland and back across the border.
Say it quickly enough, it sounds almost possible. Almost.
Kane. Oh, he would have a chance.
Kane?
He's an ex-paratrooper, is he not? Trained in escape and evasion, in survival techniques. Above all, he's a Sandbaggers special agent.
Sandbaggers don't have magical powers. You're asking me to parachute one of my officers into the Kola Peninsula, to bring out an ill-assorted bunch of scientists, some of whom may be injured, overland, through an area crawling with Russian troops.
This is not a national issue, Mr. Burnside. It's a NATO one. You know the northern flank is indefensible if we give the Russians the least excuse to cross that border.
Well, what can you offer in return?
Sorry?
To get government approval to put a sandbagger into Russia, I'll need to be able to convince them that you could do a substantial favor in return.
But what can I do? We have nothing. That is why I mounted this operation, to get something, anything to trade.
Well, then we can't help.
Your deputy chief, or C.
Neither of them would look at it.
There is the diplomatic approach. My ambassador seeing your foreign secretary.
The answer would be the same.
With the CIA.
You're wasting time. Time better spent in trying to get to those scientists yourself.
Then I will rely on the approach to your foreign secretary.
I wouldn't.
Well, thank you for seeing me.
I'm sorry. Diane?
And the Kola Peninsula of all places.
I'm somewhat relieved that we never get approval. Although when the Russians find that plane, there's going to be one hell of a nausea.
Not our problem.
It's everyone's problem anytime the Russians want to stroll across that border.
Damned irresponsible of the Norwegians.
Not really. I mean, if they don't prove themselves, make some kind of active contribution, they're going to get left in the lurch someday. And they know it.
Peel? Yes, indeed he is. Did you want to... Oh, Sir Geoffrey himself. Well, just a... Oh, good afternoon, sir. Oh, very well, sir, thank you. Burnside is with me now, sir. Just hold on a moment. Your ex-father-in-law taking the trouble to track you down to my office.
Burnside. Well, I come over now. It's convenient. Right. He wants to see me urgently.
What about?
Oh, you didn't say.
You know, I'm not very keen on this direct line between you and Wellingham.
He sent for me.
I know. But he is the permanent Under-Secretary of State. You should talk to C. Or me.
Maybe you could marry his daughter.
That is not very funny.
No, it wasn't funny for me either.
Cup for you, Neil?
No, thanks.
Oh, while I remember, important things first. I have a message for you from Belinda.
Yes.
She's found some old notebooks of yours in her attic. From your time in the Marines, I believe. Do you want them back?
No, thanks. She can ditch them.
Right. The Norwegians seem to have got themselves a bit of a problem. Rather a nasty one.
Yes, I know about it.
Oh? How?
Torvik came to see me this lunchtime.
Who?
The chief of their intelligence service.
Ah. And what did you tell him?
But we couldn't help.
Oh. That's a pity.
Sorry.
We want SIS to carry out the rescue operation.
In the Kola Peninsula?
There isn't another one, is there?
Well, I don't think there's a chance.
Oh, of course there is. Remember that Korean airliner? It had been overflying Russian territory for an hour before the Russians detected it. That's why they overreacted.
I'm talking about putting a sandbagger in there, expecting him to get out again.
Neil, you have a special operations section for special operations. By definition, those must occasionally embrace an element of danger.
I have a special operations section to give covert action capability to the UK government, not the Norwegians. Look, I don't understand. Why should we take that kind of risk? Put Anglo-Soviet relations in jeopardy and get nothing in return?
Who says we get nothing in return?
I spoke to Torvik.
About intelligence. There are other considerations. I can tell you that the Norwegians did not expect something for nothing. And even so, the Foreign Secretary drove a very hard bargain.
Tell me more.
You know about the British Nemesis missile? Medium-range air-to-air thing?
Yes, I've read about it.
The Americans have a similar weapon called War Bonnet at the same stage of development.
Yes.
If SIS does the Kohler job, and quickly, the Norwegians will buy Nemesis. If SIS refuses, they'll approach the CIA and offer to take War Bonnet instead.
Good. Let them go to the CIA. War Bonnet's probably a better missile anyway.
Neil, you are aware that there's a world outside the four corners of your headquarters?
Sorry?
The British aerospace industry is in desperate trouble over Nemesis through no fault of its own. There's insufficient R&D money and the whole project is in danger of collapse.
Yes, but I don't think...
Thousands of people could be put out of work in an area which already suffers high unemployment. That wouldn't make the government at all happy. The opposition's making enough capital out of the situation as it is.
Well, I don't think it's my job to keep the government in office.
No. But it is your job to carry out its instructions.
While protecting my sandbaggers from political exploitation.
This isn't a political argument, it's an economic one.
Look, sir, I'm sorry if people are put out of work. Just as sorry if Nemesis collapses. But I'll be even more sorry if one of my sandbaggers gets killed in Russia.
Neil, I don't think you've yet quite grasped the position. You and I are debating this strictly under the old Powers Act. However, at this very moment, the Foreign Secretary is in Downing Street. The operation has the Prime Minister's blessing. And a directive is winging its way to SIS.
Talk about shooting first and asking questions after.
Good luck with it.
If you don't like it, go and talk to C.
C's a diplomat. He's not going to oppose the government.
Neither am I.
Look, sir, I need your support. C has only been in the job a short time. I've been director of operations for less than 6 months. It is your experience which gives weight to your opinions.
My opinion is that we should carry out our orders. You're always prepared to do favors for the CIA without government approval.
Yes, but this proposal's madness.
Ours not to reason why.
It's the do-or-die bit that I question.
Then go down the corridor and talk to C.
No, it does seem madness.
Then let's say so.
I don't think we can.
But so the government is using SIS for political purposes.
That is a matter of interpretation.
Were it not for the Nemesis missile bribe, no one would give a damn about the Norwegian plane.
Neil, in the final analysis, it doesn't matter what the government's motives are. The directive is a simple instruction to get on with it. We're instruments of government, nothing more.
Tell that to my sandbaggers.
No, you tell it to the Sandbaggers. They're your section. And before that, I think you'd better contact Torvik. Get the Norwegian input.
Yes, sir.
And, Neil, I do appreciate the problems. Let me know if I can help.
Thank you, sir.
It must be somewhere on that line.
But the aircraft could be 20 miles up it, even 100.
Yes, the dropping plane must fly down the line till the pilot sees the crash, then parachute the agent in.
That's what you think.
I'm sorry.
I'll borrow this map. Take it back with me.
Yes, certainly. You won't be too long, will you? When will Kane be ready to go to Norway?
When the mission's planned.
Oh, Mr. Burnside, we must not waste time.
Herr Torvik, I never waste time.
I think this is just about the craziest idea you've come up with.
Willie, it's not my idea. Okay, what do you think?
Well, for a start, you're going to have to send all 3 sandbaggers in case there are injured men to be carried.
You're going to have Jake. Alan's got to stay in Hong Kong.
Yeah. You don't want to write off the entire section in the Kola Peninsula, do you? Before we do anything else.
Jeff Ross is being escorted up from reception.
Oh,
Can you see him?
right. Well, that's all we need. CIA problems as well.
I'd swap this for anything the CIA might have.
Right.
Mr. Ross, sir.
Hi, Neil.
Hello, Jeff.
Willie?
Oh, Diane,
How you
have an
doing?
appointment
Fine,
with Wellingham as soon as possible, will you?
Yes.
Don't take no for an answer.
No?
You catch us at a moment of panic.
Yeah, I can tell. Geography lesson?
No, we're planning our holidays.
Malta's good for holidays.
Right.
Any special section effort available?
No.
Nothing like a straight answer. Now, the thing is, we've got a little job in Malta. And as you guys like to think you still own the place,
Can't take it, Jeff.
well, I can offer a load of goodies in exchange.
We're committed. And I suppose it's safer to tell you why.
Right.
Ask your lot to keep away from the Kola Peninsula for the next day or two.
Yeah, okay. Can I give him a reason?
The Norwegians have lost a spy plane somewhere inside Soviet territory. We're going to try and recover the crew.
What do you want to do a crazy thing like that for?
We're asking the same question.
Well, my Maltese problems just pale into insignificance.
Yes, well, we're too polite to ask you to do the same thing. But Diane will see you back to reception.
I think I just left.
Wellingham at 4:15.
Oh, will it? Good. Yeah, send me a postcard.
Got a sense of humor like the Marquis de Sade.
Okay, now what do you think?
Well, before we go in, I think someone had better find out exactly where the plane is.
Yes, well, I hope Wellingham's in a good mood.
I don't know about that.
Look, sir, if we use the dropping aircraft to spot the wreck, it'll have to go in low and slow.
Yes.
It'll have to fly straight down the line, a steady, predictable course,
Easily detected.
and more easily intercepted. But if we can pinpoint the crash position in advance of the drop, well, then we stand a fighting chance.
Explain why.
Well, one, the dropping aircraft can fly a random course, avoid interception. Two, we can drop the Sandbaggers smack on top of the crash and so cut down the time they're actually on Soviet soil. And three, most important of all, if we know exactly where they're starting from, we can pre-brief them for an escape route. Give them compass bearings to get round Soviet installations, military positions.
So you want the RAF to do a low-level photo recce right up the line. Get the precise location of the crash and pictures of the terrain.
Exactly.
RAF aircraft penetrating Soviet airspace for a few photos.
Well, they could do it with a Jaguar. I mean, in and out before the Russians could blink.
Different ball game, Neil. It's one thing to put a Secret Service agent into Russia, quite another to send in a fighter plane.
Well, the RAF have got to go in anyway to drop the Sandbaggers.
The Norwegians won't provide a dropping aircraft.
I haven't asked them. I want the RAF.
Why?
Because if we use the RAF, the agents and the aircraft are being tasked from a common source. So there's less chance of a foul-up. If we use a Norwegian aircraft, it'll have to be briefed by the Norwegian Air Force, by the Norwegian Intelligence Service, as well as by SIS.
RAF won't be happy about it.
Then they can join the club.
All right. I'll see if I can get approval from Downing Street. And I'll get you a meeting with the RAF.
This evening?
Yes. Vice Chief of the Air Staff, I should think.
Now, this is Pat Spencer-Smith, who's the Assistant Chief of the Air Staff Operations.
How do you do, sir?
Do sit down, Mr. Spencer.
Thank you.
Well, this is an unusual problem.
Yes. Can you cope with him?
One way or another, given the necessary permissions. Pat?
The low-level Jaguar recce is simple enough. In fact, there should be a Jaguar on its way to Norway now to stand by. But the parachute drop's another matter.
I appreciate that.
The scientists were briefed to remain with the aircraft, but
Well,
they...
standard procedure.
Good, good. Now, our masters are not at all keen to use an aircraft with military markings for the actual operation. The Jaguar can take its chances. The parachuting chaps into Russia...
It's a long way on a bicycle.
But don't worry, we've been on to British Aerospace, and they're quite prepared to help.
What sort of aircraft?
An HO-748. Best aircraft in the world for this sort of job.
All right. But RAF crew.
No, British Aerospace will provide full crewing as part of the cover story.
It'll be their demonstration aircraft. In northern Norway to do cold weather trials. Could develop a compass error.
A slim enough story, I know, but better than having a military aeroplane on the front page of Pravda. Excuse me. Yes, put him through, please. Vice Chief of the Air Staff. Yes. Yes, understood. You're on. We'll get written confirmation this evening. Thank you very much. The Jaguar will make its run at first light.
could have been the dropping plane with the agents.
When are you going to learn? To plot an escape route, we need to know the exact position of the
It
crash.
seems to me you're more concerned with your sandbaggers than those scientists.
Well, you bet your life I am. The aerial photos on the way back to us now. As soon as we get them, we'll plot an escape route. Then the sandbaggers will brief and go.
To jump when?
As soon as possible.
Today?
Tomorrow.
If it's bad weather tomorrow, then the next day.
I said as soon as possible. The scientists were still there when the Jaguar overflew them this morning, which means they are in a remote place and the Russians still don't know about them.
Yes, but at any moment...
We're going as fast as we can.
Very well, Mr. Burnside. I know you're doing your best, and you're busy.
Yes. Well, I'll keep in touch.
Please do.
And how far inside Russian territory?
About 50 miles.
What do you think?
I think there is no hope in hell. But I can ask for a diversionary tactic on the border.
Troop movements?
Well, the border's, say, 80 to 90 miles long. As soon as we fix where we're going to take them out, we can ask the Norwegians to move up troops to another part. Well, we've got to try and pull the Russians out of their path.
You won't get NATO troops moving up to that border. It's a very strict rule. Low profile on the northern flank.
The whole of Westminster is treating us like lepers.
We're a lot worse off than lepers. They get some sympathy.
Yes, well, I'll be in the ops room.
And they've got to be low on food and water.
You'll have survival ration packs, Phil.
Ration? What are we, Meals on Wheels as well?
Right, what's all this?
Mission planning's recommended escape route, sir.
Why the dogleg?
To avoid Russian military positions, sir.
They've got to go nor-northwest to make the border. But if they go direct, they'll hit a military camp here. If they go too far north, there's a defended radar installation here. So they've got to pass between the two.
Putting 30, 40 miles on the journey.
Yeah. Some joker's idea of a scenic route.
Willie?
Weather and terrain, Ted?
It could be quite bright, a bit cold. Well, there'll be tundra come moorland. Should manage 3 miles an hour if the scientists aren't hurt.
Night travel only.
No, sir. Straight push. We reckon that darkness may give the Russians less chance of spotting them, but more chance of them running into the Russians.
I'll buy that. If there are Russians around, I want to spot them on the horizon.
Agreed. Carry on, Ron.
You'll be unarmed. Jumpers instructed by the aircrew, equipment in a separate canister. I don't think there's any point in trying to establish cover on the ground once you have the scientists in tow.
Well, we'll say we're on a nature ramble. Or a lunatic's outing. They'd have to believe that, wouldn't they?
Right, Sandbagger 1 to see me on completion of briefing, please.
You're going to have your unmentionables torn off.
Good. I'm just in the mood for a punch-up.
Get me Herr Torvik at the Norwegian Embassy.
Right.
Well?
Well, what?
You're my lead sandbagger. I don't expect you to behave at briefings like a spoiled child.
All right, you jump out of the plane tomorrow morning.
I did my time in the section, and as far as I can recall, I didn't sulk about it.
How many times did you parachute into Russia?
Look, if you've got mission twitch, you
If
should
I
have
didn't
spoken
have
up.
mission twitch on this, I'd be a right idiot.
Yes, I know.
Why should I spend the rest of my life in a Russian jail because of some missile?
Because Wellingham says this country needs the Norwegian interests. Both Nemesis and War Bonnet are on the point of collapse.
Yeah, the one that keeps going will get orders from every NATO country, make a lot of money.
Right.
When I'm digging salt, I remember that.
I rang the Norwegian embassy.
Yes?
Herr Torvik's gone. Been report to Norway.
God, wonderful. He pressurizes us to go in. When we do, he's pushed off to see the wife.
He didn't mention it when I saw him this morning.
Oh, I've got to get to Norway myself, haven't I?
Anything you want done?
No, I've turned off everything in the flat.
Cancel the mill?
I'll never do that. Might give somebody up there ideas. Morning. You sleep all right?
Well, could have laid on a couple of Scandinavian blondes for us.
First time I've been to Norway.
Well, let's hope it isn't the last. How do you feel?
Sick.
Thank God for that. I thought it might have been something I ate.
Neil, sorry to bring you across so early.
That's all right, sir.
Difficult to talk on the phone. The answer on the diversionary tactic is a firm and unequivocal no. We did push, I promise you, but there's a real fear that the Russians would overreact.
Yes, well, I didn't have very high hopes anyway.
One other thing. The Norwegian ambassador came to see the Foreign Secretary yesterday with a complaint.
What sort of complaint?
Friend Torvik has told his masters that you're stalling.
Oh, but that's nonsense. The aircraft will be leaving for the drop within 10 minutes.
Does Torvik know that?
I sent him a message through Oslo Station saying we hope to make the drop this morning.
Hope to?
The airfield could be fog-bound. Anyway, he'll find out because the 748 crew will have filed a flight plan with the Norwegian Air Force.
Who'll tell their Oslo headquarters, who'll tell their Norwegian Foreign Office, who'll tell Torvik. Eventually.
So what? I mean, Torvik's just a spectator.
And a very upset one.
Looks like more to do than worry about his paranoia. Inside?
Duty Operations Officer, sir. Message from Torvik through Oslo Station. Please cancel operation. No further requirement. With many thanks.
What? Can we abort the mission?
No chance, sir. They drop right now.
Send in a boat anyway. I'm coming down.
Right.
Diane! I'll be in the ops room.
Wait. Right. Got it. From Jeff Ross, abort the job. Coming to see you urgently.
Ross, what the hell's going on?
Running in! Stand up! Prepare for action! Red light on! Stand by! Green light on! Go! Go! Go!
You okay?
Okay.
You get a fix where the equipment went down?
Yeah.
Right, I'll hide this garbage. You get the canister. Roger.
Sorry. Did you abort the cola mission?
Too late. They're already in. All right, Jeff, what's going on?
Okay, now look, Neil. I reported to Langley, and I told him you were backing the Norwegians. Okay. And then some bright young genius there decided to offer CIA help to Torvik. Well, Torvik declined, and he said SIS had everything in hand. But yesterday morning, Torvik contacted the CIA. Now, he said you were dragging your feet. You just didn't want to do the job. And at the same time, the Norwegian ambassador contacted the Secretary of State. He said that if the CIA would come in, we'd...
The Norwegians would buy the war bonnet missile.
Yeah.
So when are you lot going in?
They're in. An hour ago.
What?
Terrific, isn't it? They reckon to have spotted the aircraft from comparative satellite tracings. They went straight in there, got briefed on the run. Neil, it all went through our station chief at Oslo. I swear to God, I only just heard about it myself.
It's how Kane hears about it that worries me.
Maybe they're all inside.
It's not that long since the 748 went over. I should have got them running about a bit.
If they've broken orders, decided to hoof it, they could be.
They saw the Jaguar. They know we're on the way.
Your people went in when?
0840 local.
And they've mined the plane on delayed charges?
Yeah, they will have.
And they're set for between 45 and 60 minutes.
Willie and Jake.
If those charges are big enough to destroy an aircraft, they won't have any trouble splattering my two all over Russia.
There's something wrong with this. You stay here, I'll go.
You want me to go?
Should only volunteer when you really mean it. Somebody's beating us to it.
Russians?
They'd want to take the equipment out, not blow it up. All right, now look at the pattern. Explosion on a time setting, the scientist's long gone.
It's the same brief as ours.
Ross.
What?
We told Ross to tell Langley.
Why would the CIA muscle in?
Oh, God knows. They'll be slowed down with the scientists, won't they? They'll want to be heading northwest.
We might catch them.
Oh, we ought to try. Give them a hand. Right.
But why on earth did you tell the CIA in the first place?
To avoid just this kind of snarl-up.
And as I understand it, the CIA were conned by Torvik.
Inasmuch as Torvik panicked, exaggerated everything, yes.
And Kane has no form of radio?
The idea was that as soon as they'd use the explosive, they'd be carrying no incriminating equipment at all.
It's not going to look very clever on a report to the Foreign Secretary.
Even worse, sir, if Kane and Landy are taken prisoner.
We have done exactly the right thing at exactly the right time at every stage.
Small consolation to the Prime Minister if he's faced with an international incident.
Oh, so that's it.
Yes, Neil. That's always it.
Can't be that much ahead of us. They had to do some planning.
I wonder if...
They can't have gone that way. They'd run into the military camp. See, they need to swing north just here.
They know about the military camp.
There they are.
They're on a straight line for the border.
Smack into the Russians. Come on, let's close the gap. Come on. Slow it down, fellas.
Well, we're gaining on them. We're also gaining on the Russian camp.
Yeah, I know. Right, you ready?
Ready.
Right.
Poor bastards.
And they've done us the greatest favor of all time.
What?
Well, we needed something to occupy the Russians.
Got them all there. Rescuers and the rescued. Don't look much further. And if we go back to the north...
It's still a long way.
It's a hell of a lot longer where they're going.
Look, Neil, I keep telling you I've complained at great length.
And told them they should have referred back?
They did refer back.
Not soon enough.
Well, I thought you were out of it.
Then why the indecent haste to get into the Kola Peninsula?
In case you changed your mind.
Go on, elaborate.
It's political pressure. Neil, the war bonnet missile is a complete mess. We're overspent on development. There's a problem with the warhead. It's late in its production schedule. And all the time, your Nemesis missile just keeps getting further ahead of us. Neil, look, you've got no idea how the U.S. government can screw the CIA.
No idea at all.
Neil, let's just hope they all get out, okay?
Well, we'll know tomorrow forenoon.
How?
Because if they're not out by then, they won't be coming.
I hate to tell you this.
Go on.
I reckon we're about 7 miles.
Yeah.
Inside Norway.
What?
Come on.
Both Sandbaggers are out undetected.
Oh, I am pleased.
Unfortunately, the CIA officers and the Norwegians were captured.
Oh. So both of us went in, but neither of us saved the Norwegian nationals.
No.
So we're all square with the Norwegian government. No, better than that. We're in a position of strength.
What?
Well, don't you see? Our agents went in and back again. So if the Norwegians had stayed with us, if we can get back to them quickly enough on the Nemesis missile...
Is that all you can think about?
Well, that's what it was all about, Neil. Let's not lose sight of first principles.
No, sir, let's never do that.
Can you manage dinner this evening?
I'm sorry, I've got to go to Oslo to see Torvik.
Now, tread carefully, Neil. Remember, Norway is still a very valued ally.
That's why Torvik and I have got to understand each other.
My car is outside.
Yes, I'm going back on the same plane.
Then what did you come for?
An explanation for a start.
I could not wait for days while you did nothing. The Americans were willing to go in at once.
And a lot of good it did them. One of these days, you'll have a special operations capability of your own. So I've come here to tell you something. Special operations doesn't mean going in with all guns blazing. It means special planning, special care. Fully briefed agents in possession of all possible alternatives. If you want James Bond, go to your library. But if you want a successful operation, sit at your desk and think. And then think again.
I understand.
Our battles aren't fought at the end of a parachute. They're won and lost in drab, dreary corridors in Westminster. And hopefully in Oslo.
Yes. Well, thank you for being so restrained. Oh, you have a few minutes. Maybe we could take a drink together.
I've got nothing to celebrate.
Well, nonetheless, I would like to buy you a drink.
Torvik, if I had a glass in my hand at this moment, I'd shove it down your throat.